Alright, it looks like the race is off here with kekumanshoyu and Andy Lancaster. As with any other run here, we start off with a 1 minute and 8 second cutscene. A quick intro break that allows the players to get psyched up or psych themselves out. Seems like we're having a little technical difficulty here with Andy Lancaster's screen. Alright, once the runners here pick up the bat, they will make their way outside and work their way through the intro sequence up the hill. This will be the first of the 2 times they'll be going up this hill. The first time is a great opportunity for the runners to warm up their thumbs casually. It's a great opportunity to explore how the controller works, what buttons do what. There's 4 buttons that advance text: A and L advance in the affirmative, and B and select advance in the negative. You can use that to your advantage, mashing through, 4 options to go as fast, and you're also able to say yes and no without cursoring over. The only exception to that is when you try to quit the game either at Dad's phone, you have to actually make an effort to quit, or in dying, you have to actually make an effort to menu over to no, do not continue, I quit.
Yeah, getting that death screen is always awkward when answering yes or no.
Fortunately, it does prevent a lot of accidental save and quits, but it also can be a problem when you're trying to actually do a soft reset.
Yeah, great job handling the solo commentary. I had to go away and take my dog out. The Doge was popping off.
Sounds like you got some bad dog RNG there.
Yep, IRL RNG. No, this dog is chill.
Alright, story-wise, you had come back from exploring, which your mother said, yeah, fine. This time, Pokey knocks at the door, your best friend, neighbor pal, and begs you to come help him find his little brother, who he lost. And Mother says, yeah, sure, just not in your PJs.
Yeah, this first 4.5 minutes isn't too bad. There's no spawns that are on while the cops are freaking out over the meteorite that landed.
Now, you can get a little bonus text here. If you don't have the bat in your inventory, it will force you to go get the bat. By me, Pokey.
Yeah, Pokey will yell at you. Little fourth wall break.
Yeah, and if you do have it and not equipped, he will yell at you, what are you, an idiot? But you can continue forward.
Really impressive stuff from Keku, dodging that first spawn, using the train to his advantage. That was some weird crow movement, though. I thought he was clear for sure.
Crow this early on is a very dangerous encounter, being able to do 8 damage, and you're trying to bash through it, and Ness is not exactly the most accurate person with a bat at this point, but it does give you 3 experience.
Yeah, after he kills Starman Jr. on Keku screen, he'll be level 3. That first Pogo fight will be a little easier. Landy having a similar time with the Onet Hill, as we call this segment. Keku, again, definitely using those trees to his advantage. Learning how to use that cover. And despite that one encounter, this is a really solid time for Picky Join.
Absolutely. We'll see if Andy has a good rest of the hill here. Now that we have come to the top of the hill, we are introduced to Buzz Buzz and the wall of text that Buzz Buzz like to throw around. You mash through it, learn about your destiny and adventure, go save the world, hurrah. You're going to have 4 people, 3 boys, 1 girl. Maybe you have everyone. Thankfully not. And you just go out and save the world now. Typical RPG exposition at this point.
Yeah, when Buzz Buzz joins, all the spawns are turned off until we get to Starman Jr., the first, quote, boss, unquote, of the game.
And Starman is nearly impossible to lose at. You do have to do some power leveling before grabbing Buzz Buzz if you do intend to lose. At level 8, you get the Shield of Light, which reflects damage, which will cancel out the size shield that Buzz Buzz throws up on every odd turn.
I never even thought about dying intentionally in this fight. It's like, what, level 11, level 12? It's like a couple thousand experience.
Oh yeah, it takes way too long. The race might be over by that point when you get there. Level 8 it is, I believe. So Starman Jr. is kind of a scripted fight, not as in Starman is scripted, because Starman Jr. can guard, fire, or freeze, but it's in the fact that Buzz Buzz is scripted in his attacks, shielding every odd turn, attacking every odd turn, and you're hoping that Buzz Buzz does enough to end it in 2 cycles of attacks, if not on average 3.
Yeah, a 2-cycle fight would be the dream. 2 charge 4s that actually deal more than 100 damage, because each of those is 1/2 of Starman's total health.
And both runners here having an 830 Starman Jr., those times I would be very happy with in a non-manipulated run here.
Yeah, with one unfortunate encounter, that's a super solid time.
Now we get to meet Pokey and Picky's parents, Aloysius and Lardna, and Aloysius is going to yell at his kids. In the Japanese version, he does a little different version of disciplining, as in you get a sound effect that it's like he's beating the kids or spanking them.
I like to think they're doing some midnight reconstruction. Just reconstructing the bedroom.
Oh, it's certainly some kind of reconstruction going on.
Remodeling, that's the word I was looking for.
Now, Buzz is dying at this point, but before he passes away, he has another wall of text to throw at us, and you got to be careful here. Buzz will challenge you. You got to say yes and no at the appropriate times. Otherwise, you will be infinitely looping through, and this can catch some new runners off guard who are just pressing A and L to get through. It's like, why isn't this wall of text ending?
Why isn't Buzz dying? That kind of thing. But yeah, it gives us an item. It allows us to record our demo tracks from these sanctuary locations. We're only going to use one and then get bored with it. Uh-oh, Andy got kind of bopped by the snake. Probably tunnel visioning on that dog. Now, that's really easy to happen to anybody.
Yeah, unfortunately, the snake just gives the least amount of experience out of all the encounters you can have. 1 XP. Not very useful, but some slick dodging there on the crow. Both runners will go up to the shack there, the treehouse, grab your friend's treasured possession, the Mr. Baseball cap, and immediately sell it for money.
Yeah, having that Mr. Baseball cap equipped allows the vendor to notice that you have an item equipped. It's a couple lines of text that you get to save, even though you're going through equipping the item. It's like one of those almost negligible time saves, but it feels more fluid. It feels good, I guess. So I saw during the equip that Andy has one more offense than Keku does. Either way, they're both level 3. The first Pogopunk should be pretty safe. I think Andy has a better chance of two-shotting the first Pogopunk. It'll be interesting to see if he pulls that off. Yeah, Keku went with a roundabout way, going around the hospital and getting a safe despawn that way. And he just went for it and just got a little luckier.
Yeah, this first Pogopunk can be a troll. If they charge at you 3 turns in a row and you don't have a healing lined up, you can quite possibly die to it.
Yeah, it can be a scary fight if you get 3 charge forwards. And he did get the 2-turn kill. A little bit of a catch-up. Although I don't know what turn Keku got that smash on. If it was a second turn, oh wow, followed it up with another one.
The Yes Man Junior here has a fun little dialogue. If you say yes, he will tell you to come back when you have beaten Earthbound. That's one of the small things I love about this game, breaking the fourth wall with lines like that.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of that in this game. I think if you talk to Captain Strong after you beat the cops, he tells you how he's playing Earthbound and how it's so hard and stuff.
Yeah, he does, and at the end of the game, he finally beats it. Now, kekumanshoyu here has reached Frank. Every time you take damage on Frank, you want to heal up. Due to a single knife attack can put you in range of dying. Or if you were to smash, that would do a lot of damage to you if you had already lost like 10 HP or so. So you'll see the runners healing every time they get damaged and trying to smash through.
And that looks like what both players are doing. So Keku might look like he's in trouble, but after the Frank fight, you do heal for 5. You get 5 psychic points back, good enough for life up.
Ooh, and Andy Lancaster, unfortunately taking a death there, will have to walk back from Mom's house and take the fuzzy pickle on the outside.
He did forget to talk to Mom and heal up. He's going to be going in with no psychic points. I hope he catches that after this this photo. And then this Frankenstein fight is semi-scripted. On every odd turn, he or it does a burst of steam, it's an empty turn, and then every even turn it gives a weak attack for 15 damage or a strong attack for about 35.
Yeah, that first attack on turn 2 always seems to be a punch, so you can definitely take advantage of that and know where you are in the cycle of the fight there.
Yep, the first attack is always a light attack. I think that's 3 smashes on Keku's Onet so far. I think a couple of them may have been on the last turn, but that's still nuts.
Yeah, it looks like Andy Lancaster here is going straight back into Frank fight with no PP. We'll see how this turns out for him.
PP. I wonder if every runner gets tired and exhausted from hearing that pun. I mean, Andy isn't completely out of it yet. He had 3 burgers at the start of the fight. And I did mention that life up, or that psychic point level. Yeah, that smash definitely helped.
There we go. And now he'll get the 5 psychic points and have a life up for... only getting 4, so not even enough for a life up on Frankie Stein Mark II here.
Yeah, I've never seen that range. I've seen that 140 withdrawal before in this series. I mean, it's been around for, I think this is the 3rd week. But anyway, I think the idea is you're going to load up on hamburgers before Ant and after Ant. And this way you don't have to go to the ATM a second time.
Yeah, the runners at that point would be counting on not dying, because when you die, you lose half of your current money on you. And if you were to take a death, that would put a dent in your burger purchasing ability after Ant.
Yeah, I don't think Keku loaded up his inventory, just bought like 5. Oh, maybe he was aware he actually had a lot of hamburgers. That's really smart.
I don't know. At this point, I would still max out the inventory at least, because you still got the cops to go through too.
Yeah. Well, he did withdraw 140, so he had a ton of money left over. Like $40 more than what I would take out. So anyway, we have the first and only, I think, level grind of this game. Most every RPG speedrun has to have a grind section somewhere. And both of these players are going to go to at least level 8. That's where Ness will learn his PSI ability that he will use against Titanic Ant. And for level 8, it takes a minimum of 22 slugs, or 22 monsters.
I do see a question in the chat. What makes a good player? A good player makes someone who's been experienced, knowing how to react to different situations where the enemies spawn, what to do in each combat scenario, because at some point you will come into an unexpected encounter, and just knowing how to react and keep your calm helps make you a good Earthbound player. Well, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, this game definitely requires a lot of adaptability. The game likes to throw a lot of curveballs at you. There is some speedrunning tech in this game. In Giant Step, all the monsters only move when Ness does, kind of like a counter reaction. You'll see a lot of stutter stepping. You'll see Ness move like a couple pixels at a time, like tapping the D-pad on the Super Nintendo controller really quickly. Those monsters ideally will not move. They'll stay still. So Ness will slowly creep past any monsters here in Giant Step. Stutter stepping is a really hard technique to master. You'll see that a lot in Winters too. So as far as Boogie Percent is concerned, it's, yeah, learning how to deal with the punches this game gives at you.
Yeah, even with Boogie Percent, what you learn in the first quarter of the game here extends throughout the entire game. You get a good spread of the techniques that are used, and it really just carries throughout the whole game at that point.
And we do whine about how much luck or RNG is in this game, especially in this category. But you'll still see the best runners get a sub 110 time, which last year was an elite time. And their comments will be like, "Oh, died to Frank, LOL."
Now, with this grinding section, there's two different strategies that can be employed. One popular one is to grind them all out on the bottom floor, eventually ending up with 24 slugs if it's all 4 packs. The other strategy is to grind 16 slugs on the bottom 2 floors, maybe doing a progressive up to the 2nd floor. And once you hit 16, you go up to the 3rd floor and grab a 6-pack of slugs. Getting you to 22 slugs is what you need to get to level 8. The reason we're aiming for level 8 is because that is when Ness learns his first offensive psychic ability, rockin' Alpha, or whatever you happen to name your favorite thing at that time.
Yeah, I'm personally a fan of 12 slugs on the 1st floor, hoping to get good luck and get a pack of 4 on the 2nd floor, and then walking to the 3rd floor. That progressive play that Airfram talked about.
Yeah, I'm a personal fan of that one too, just because when you get to that level, you can go right outside to the butterfly and recover your psychic points. Although the disadvantage to it is you got to watch out for antoids on floor 2 and 3, which can be quite a pain and easily spiral out of control.
Yeah, those black antoids have the same sprite as the slugs that we've been seeing so far, and it's always a judgment call. Usually ants are in like a more solitary pack. Solitary pack, that's an oxymoron. They're more solitary than these slugs, always in groups of 4 and in the 3rd floor groups of 6.
Yeah, the groups of 2, you can typically say, there's antoids in it, no matter what. On the 2nd floor, it'd be like 2 antoids, and on the top floor, it could be a slug and an antoid. Now, I haven't been keeping track of the slugs. I've been going back and forth and lost count. Well, do you know where they're at?
No idea. I think they're within 1 pack of each other. Keku might be a little bit ahead. Yeah, I think Keku just finished 18 and Andy is at 16.
Oh, nope. There's level 8. So Keku is done with the slug grind. We'll see if Keku got 24 offense, which will allow you to take on single fight of antoids and instant win. If it's 23, you will have to stutter past them or despawn them in the 2nd half of this dungeon.
Yeah, good stuff from Landy, just taking the fight, figuring out all those sprites were hanging out. After 4 turns, these slugs unsilence themselves. They know hypnosis, but they can't cast it for the first 4 turns. Hopefully they don't use hypnosis and put Ness asleep in the final 2 turns. That can really extend this fight. There's no real danger of dying. Even if you get to cancel out of auto fight, Ness will heal himself up if he's wounded.
And you see Keku here having some difficulties with the stutter. The more enemies there are on screen, the tougher it is, but it looks like he's going to pull it off. This is one of the risks of doing all the grinding on the bottom floor.
Yeah, those are some great stutter steps, and it's not as easy as it looks. Whenever the monsters start to walk towards you, they seem to like lock on, if that makes sense. So it looks like Keku has at least 24 offense. That's the threshold where you get that auto win screen against single antoids or single slugs. And we're going to use this outdoor room to use the butterflies to heal up. It's going to be two butterflies, or I guess in Landy's case, 1 butterfly. I would just life up and get the 2nd butterfly, but
yeah, that was an interesting choice to use the hamburger there.
Andy did a status check. It looks like he won't be able to kill off single slugs. Got the stutter around them.
Keku getting tricked there. In that third room, you got to be really careful because the Antoids can blend into the pixel art there on the rock and on the bottom, and you may end up in a 2-fight like this. But fortunately, it looks like it was really clean there.
We'll see if he doubles back and grabs Life's Up, or she's going to eat a hamburger.
That was a good choice, using the hamburger there, avoiding walking back and conserving the PP.
So Titanic Ant, hopefully we're going to just blow our first 2 turns using the Rockins. That was a really good damage roll. It'll do anywhere from like 40 to 120 damage if it hits. And those shields are physical shields. Nessa's Bastards are going to deal half damage for 3 turns or 1 smash before that shield goes away.
And that shield will stack the more the ant throws it up, but 1 smash will get rid of all stackings.
To be fair. Yep. Good point.
Just like Frank, if you take any kind of damage, you really want to kind of heal, because Antoid has 3 levels of attack, around 20 for the low, around 40 for the high, and if a smash gets off, it goes off for around 60 or higher.
Yeah,
so you want to be
right.
Yeah, you want to be conservative when facing off Ant, because Ant can be a jerk.
Yeah, that was a clean fight from Keku. Didn't use too many burgers. Ant was using a lot of psychic abilities, including a magnet on a turn that he wanted to heal with Life Up. That just happens sometimes. Yeah, I thought Andy was really close to killing Ant. Got both Rockins off and did a smash. So this is a really close race through 2 boss fights that can be really rough. So despite that death that Andy had, he's not that far behind.
Yeah, we still got the Cop Gauntlet coming up here. That's an equalizer. And still pretty much the rest of the game, which is all equalizers pretty much.
So I wonder if Keku is going to go back into the burger shop and stock up on hamburgers. He had a really good ant fight. I don't see any reason why he would.
But
he did withdraw all that extra money. It could be a safety or like a backup strat. I like to have about 5 hamburgers when I'm starting this next section, the Onet police force. Police brutality is what I named the split. All in good humor.
And it's all because the cops are mad that you can't read the sign.
Yeah, I guess answering no is like a couple lines of text faster. I believe both of these runners are on pace for a 31-minute Onet. Well, what we call an Onet split after we kill Captain Strong. It's a really solid pace. I'd be happy with a 31-minute.
Andy gonna do some purchasing, so it'll probably be another minute past that. But as Keku here heads into the cops, it is a total of 5 fights, 4 cops and Captain Strong. When you get around to 55 HP, you're going to want to heal with a burger. And when you get down to around 30, you want to use a life up. Ideally, you want to be able to conserve enough psychic points to use 2 rockings on Strong. But living is a little more a priority than making sure you have that.
Yeah, these cops only have physical damage attacks. They can do a weak attack or a crushing chop. Crushing chop will do, again, from 25 to 35. Weak attack about 15. And we're also hoping that Ness can outspeed the cops on the bashes and the cops outspeed Ness on the heals so that Ness doesn't overheal.
And if you get lucky, you get the 1 in 16, I think it is, for a hamburger drop here.
Oh man, I have no idea. Hamburger drop is always hype though. Okay, Keku getting lucky with the weak attack. Don't have to mash out a healing on death. 23 is right on that borderline for being able to get the heal off before Ness dies. I don't know if he's running on Super Nintendo or on an emulator. Emulator's a little bit harder. So these cops have 77 HP, which is about 3 bashes or 1 smash. Or 1 rockin' if these guys are really bold. So Kegu is respecting the HP mechanic and waiting for Ness to be fully healed before he launches the attack. I think he really respects the smash that the cops can possibly do. I would just go for it, save those 2 or 3 seconds.
All right, I just did the math here. It is actually a 16 in 128 chance to get the burger drop, which means it's a 1 in 8, I believe.
Yep. Just without thinking about it, I'll say sure. I'm not in my head. There's no like commentator webcam, but I'm moving my head up and down. Seems good. So Kegu was able to have 20 psychic points for this fight. Can throw 2 rockins, and if they hit, it should be a kill.
Ideally, you want both of them to hit for over 75 for a guaranteed kill, but a combination to get over 150 works no matter what.
Yeah, Andy's kind of having crushing Chop City on these cops, but he's finally at strong. Not finally at strong. It took about the same amount of time for him to kill the cops. Just did that extra hamburger purchasing.
Ooh, a very nice heal up there by Andy. Preemptive for the grapple attack.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Just set up the strong kill.
And both runners having a 31-minute O-net, which is very good.
Yeah, very solid. I was really worried when Andy didn't heal up at O-net, just fighting Frank without any psychic points, and then not having enough mana from the level up to heal up against the robot. Ended up saving him some time. To be fair, that's really easy to forget, though. Whenever you die at the arcade, you're just tilted and just go down and don't even think about it. Just keep going. Try to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, fortunately it worked out in his favor. Well, now story-wise, you're going to head down to Tucson and go to the department store where the runners will withdraw about $500 and save at the phone there with Dad, setting up a death warp in about 20 minutes. After that, you're going to go visit Apple Kid and make a new friend by feeding him and giving him money to get you some convenient plot devices later on.
That's how I make my friends. Yeah, a little deviation from glitchless percent, which we will see pretty soon once this group's end. There was a house on our way to Tucson, and we can pick up an exit mouse for glitchless, but the first time we use it is after we kill Boogie Tent, so there's no need for it in this run. I did a couple Boogie Percent scrims before the Super Series started. A lot of people really wanted to practice this, and I always grabbed the exit mouse like a dingus, like a doofus, like a schmuck.
Unfortunately, you can't use the exit mouse to escape the boogie fight and skip it.
Man, that would be the dream. So Ness is really low from the Onet cop fight, and we're going to heal up by picking up 2 butterflies on the way from Tucson to Happy Happy Village. There are like 4 spots where these butterflies can spawn, and I think we come across each of them twice. We'll come across 2 of them twice, rather. So plenty of opportunities to heal up. Definitely faster than using a hotel. Although, if you do use the Tucson hotel, there's a cool cutscene where you see Paula's dad run around the streets at, like, warp speed.
You could also bug the guy outside your hotel room until he gives you $50.
Oh man, I used to do that. Teenage Waluigi strats hype. So I'm sure Keku loaded the pencil statue. Okay, he got the phone call. I saw him go up, but not up enough to load the statue. Maybe that was just to despawn a UFO that was on the bottom.
Yeah, you have to cross that little patch of grass. Let's try that correctly. Which will load it into memory there. And allow you to save a little bit of time there, but it is not fun when you don't go high enough and you're waiting for the phone call and it's like, where's my new friend?
Don't fight Everdread. Don't do it. Okay,
Everdread,
he's moving
skip.
down. He's clean.
Everdread skip, yeah!
There's only one man who can handle Everdread in this run. The legend. The Everdread fight is really brutal. I think he has a little more HP than Captain Strong, and he'll actually steal your consumables. And he hits like a truck.
Yeah, I just pulled it up here. Everdread has 182 HP and 25 offense and a good chunk of defense there. And he can... About half of his turns are wasted, but the other half is definitely attack, which will waste you pretty quickly here.
Yeah, he's an arrogant park owner. He's even fighting you with a twisted ankle, if I remember the lore correctly.
That's the excuse. Oh, I twisted my ankle jumping off the roof trying to look like a strong macho man.
So Keku's returning to PRV, Peaceful Rest Valley. I don't know about the word peaceful, but he has the pencil eraser now. He's going to use that to erase this statue.
As they move further in, they're going to encounter 4 different types of enemies in Peaceful Rest Valley. You already saw the UFOs there, which swing wildly, but you are able to outrun it in a vertical pace. Up and down, you will outwalk it, but if you get in a horizontal line there, you are getting hit.
Yeah, it's going to make a beeline for you, for
sure.
Yeah.
And more often than not, it'll be a red squirrel. You got the Sprouts, what you're just seeing there in Keku's stream. They charge straight at you. You have the whirling robos, which is the diamonds things that just move erratically, and then you have the territorial oaks, which are slow and you can outwalk it. But if you get in a fight and you kill it, it will explode and take all your HP away. So mash away.
Yeah, it's kind of like an introduction to the rolling HP mechanic in this game from a casual perspective. Basically, the name of the game in PRV is despawn everything and pray you don't get pincered.
Fun little note with the territorial oaks, you can kill it and then die. By doing that, you underflow the experience and you get what looks like a bajillion experience, but since you're dead, it doesn't actually add to your experience.
Oh god. I'm sure someone has a highlight of that. No, Rip's neck. His neck got stepped on. Rip's
Double
second
snack.
snack.
Snack?
Rip's neck. But yeah, that was a really solid PRV from Kekuman. I think par for PRV is like 5 or 6 encounters.
Yeah,
I think he made birdie.
Fortunately for Andy there, he had the psychic points already to deal with the UFO. The UFO is so fast that you're not going to run for it for several turns. You start off with a negative chance, but it looks like he might be pincered there and takes another fight. Fortunately, he can psych it again and hopefully clear off the enemies fairly quickly.
Yeah, meanwhile, Keku got cultist spawn like right on top of him. And because these are there are cultists that you have to fight as not a mini boss encounter, but as a force encounter, you can't actually run away from these because they're scripted. Like the fight, you can't run away.
There are some other enemies later in the game that have similar properties. Snakes, dogs, crows have multiple entries for different areas, but the insane cultist only has one entry, so no matter where you fight it, it is an unrunnable, no matter if it's a green or a red swirl.
Yeah, I've been guilty of trying to run away from mini barfs just because I had a green swirl.
Hopefully Keku is able to take down the shack fight quickly enough, with only having enough for one rockin'.
Yeah, fighting extra cultists is always no bueno. I wonder if he knows about the hotel in Happy Happy Village. It's basically the farm.
With a blue cow. Andy seems to be having some difficulty here with the spawns in Peaceful Rest Valley. Picked up the travel charm, which is interesting. I haven't seen that before.
It doesn't do anything.
What is it?
Maybe
protect
he
from
wasn't
paralysis?
aware of what it was.
Or is it hypnosis that it protects from?
Protects from paralysis, but there's nothing around here that casts paralysis. Unfortunately, Keku's Rockin' didn't deal 94 damage to the cultists, so we still have 3 monsters.
This could end badly if the cultist gets off.
Oh, we got the call for help, though. The empty call for help. Another empty call for help. These cultists are going to learn eventually that they have no friends. They'll just stop trying.
It'll be interesting to see what Keku chooses to do, whether it's going to be going to the hotel or just dealing with the 10 psychic points from the nice level up here.
Yeah, fighting those extra cultists, I guess, has somewhat of an advantage. You get that vitality and, well, that big life up before you fight Car Painter. I think I'm expecting him to use those psychic points for life ups, not try any sly rockins on Car Painter.
Yeah, that's what it looks like what's going on. Andy here on the other side is going through the shopping sequence, picking up a couple extra croissants, and buying the Sandlot bat, which has 15 offense compared to the T-ball bat's 8 offense, and then the Holmes hat to replace the baseball cap.
Yeah, a little extra defense, a little extra durability.
Ooh, and unfortunately, mandatory cultist fight is now mandatory.
I wonder if Andy thought there's only one cultist on screen and he can despawn it. I've only ever seen 2 cultists in a pack. It's like a 25% chance for the cultist to be there.
Although the extra levels won't hurt at this point, be a little more useful.
Yeah. He did fight a fair bit in PRV. That's going to come in handy.
So now that we've reached Mr. Car Painter, it is a fully scripted fight. What Card Painter is going to do is fully determined beforehand. It opens up with Lightnings, which has a 25% chance to hit Ness, followed by a Life Up, and it just cycles through a total of 6 turns with 1 Life Up per cycle, 2 Lightnings, and 2 Paintbrushes.
So Keku decided to use his PSI for Rockton. And he got some good lightning luck, so that paid off. If he had used it for life ups, he probably would have been at least 1 more cycle. 1 more opportunity for the lightning to reflect to kill Card Painter. So it was risky, but it was worth it.
Yeah, Andy here, only able to kill off 1 cultist, is choosing to bash through, which can be risky if they decide to call for more. Could lead up to all the ways to cultist G and start looping through the alphabet. Usually by that point, you're out of resources and you're dead.
You're out of resources and you're out of patience. I've only ever seen cultist F or G. I mean, I've seen more than that at other people's streams. Fortunately, it'll remain that way.
Start getting the double-lettered cultists.
So Keku's about to rescue Ness's girlfriend, set up a death warp. Basically going to go to the first encounter in Lilliput Steps and have the kids die and respawn in the Tucson department store. Hopefully Andy's chapel fights go well. At least I thought the headquarters kind of looked like a chapel.
I've never thought of it that way.
And Andy's healthy enough that he kills the cultist in 2 bashes. That seems to be a pretty common thing if you fight cultist C and at least 1 other encounter.
Hopefully the luck will be on Andy's side and it'll be a nice quick Card Painter kill here. Ideally, you can get it off in the first turn with 2 lightning strikes and a bash or a rocking.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a rockin' on turn 1. I think he has at least 20 psychic points. 2 rockins is always nice.
Was that a life up he used?
It looks like it.
Ooh, that could have been a 1 round if that was a high psych or high rock and roll too.
Yeah, these lightnings have a 25% chance of hitting, so you'll see them miss more often than not.
On Keku's side, Keku chose to go with the Mole for Death Warp. Does have 90 HP, which is kind of high for the Mole. The Mole has a habit of wasting a lot of turns, or confusing itself and attacking itself and killing itself.
Yeah, we're hoping for the Sharp Claws attack. That's the stronger attack. It might be able to one-shot Ness from 58.
Yeah, and then you're hoping that you don't gut save, too.
Yeah, that is taking a enough damage to kill you, but instead leaving Ness with 1 HP.
Overall, a very nice Death Warp for Keku. Personally, I probably would have tried for PRV with the aggressive spawns out there. Maybe make it to the couple life noodles.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that if I was at that high HP, but it's really subjective if that's a time save or not. Depends on what encounter you get. Depending on what the luck is.
And you never know what the mole's gonna do and what could have been.
So the extra money that Keku withdrew and Onett coming in didn't have to use the ATM another time. I think Andy's screen is frozen. I'd have to check on his stream and see if it's just a speed gaming side issue or if it's on Andy's stream side. Okay, it refreshed. We still have a race. So Andy is only one death warp behind. The lead can definitely change at winners. Between Brick Road and Pond Cave, it's a lot of RNG that can happen. And that's not even including the Boogie Tent fight itself. So Andy's going to go through a little bit of inventory Tetris. Usually there's a little more of that movement around for glitchless, but in this run you just drop any defense items that Ness has and the teddy bear, so it doesn't absorb any attacks from the moles.
Yeah, some people choose to move it to Paula and sometimes equip, but ideally your only encounter after the mole is Boogie Tent with Ness and Paula, and the amount of damage that Boogie Tent does, it's not really helpful.
And that is true for glitchless percent also, so I'm a fan of just dropping it. I believe I'm thinking Andy's suggesting walking back through PRV. Oh no, he's taking... I think he was just looking for an ideal fight.
Yeah, and this is a good combination here. If he's able to attack and kill the Oak too, it'll explode and easily take out both party members.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd be doing what Andy's doing. Just the standard ATM card, Paula Bash. It's like the freest turn that the kids can give to the monsters without guarding.
Alright, and now we are at the Runaway 5 show on Keku's side. They were the Tanzura brothers in the Japanese version, Mother 2, in all sleek black suits, who happened to get into a lot of problems with the contract. Obviously representative of the Blues Brothers, so when it came over, it was changed to avoid a bit of a lawsuit.
I've always been a fan of the Runaway 5 show at Fourside before you give the diamond to Mrs. Claus. The Joliet Jake looking character from Runaway 5 seems to forget a cue. You see a giant exclamation mark on his head. Metal Gear Solid style.
Very nice. I forgot all about that.
I used to think that watching that show was the trigger for opening the mole cave. Yeah, I thought it was watch the show, talk to Mrs. Claus, and then talk to the NPC outside of the theater. Oh man, that was such a time waste.
Well, I mean, casually, you really don't know what the trigger is going to be for that.
Oh, heck no. I did a couple playthroughs where I just walked back and forth between the desert and forest side. Okay, is it open now? Nope. Oh, I have to go back. Is it open now? Okay, what am I doing wrong? Rip me.
With getting onto the Runaway 5 bus, there are two options. You can go left side bus, you can go right side bus, or the invalid third option, walk right into the photo trigger and go the most direct route and waste the most amount of time.
I think left side bus is more invalid than take the photo. Shoutouts to the Red Balloon Man.
You'd rather have the time loss instead of going left side bus?
Fuzzy Pickles, though. Oh god, Rip Dog. I didn't even notice that. I used to look for that for the Runaway bus scene. The dog NPC just blocking the road. I like to think the bus absorbs the dog. Just a hitchhiker. You're coming with us to Threed.
Ugh, 3. Who wants to go to 3?
I like the color palette of Dark 3, though. Got purple grass. It's like a Dr. Seuss world or something.
Well, now that we're in 3 proper here, I'm going to make our way up to the northwest to reach 2 zombies that are blocking a hole in the ground. From there, make your way back to the hotel and trying to avoid all spawns possible.
Yeah, basically the plot trigger we're looking for is the zombie guards to look at Ness and get that dialogue. It looks like that.
Yeah, and after this point here, if you were to take a death from an encounter here, there's little consequence for it other than just wasting time. If you were to die, you respawn right where you dropped off, and you could go right back to the hotel to chase. Ooh, pretty lady.
And that nice lady will still be there. I think this lady's really misunderstood. If you do die, you go get ambushed by zombies, but at least they revive Paula. So that's nice.
You are able to encounter this lady again later on in the game at Summers, and she has no recollection of what happened.
Does she actually reference that?
I'm not quite sure of the dialogue. I haven't had time to actually swing by or try it out lately.
I never really noticed what happened to that lady. But this game has its fan base. I'm sure there are conspiracy theories abound. There are theories for nearly everything in this game. Or so I've learned when I started running this game. So anyway, we have Jeff. He's going to receive this prayer from Paula, since he's one of the kids that's out to save the world. We don't know anything about that. We're just here to raid a circus tent and steal its fly honey. But either way, Jeff has to let them out. But first he has to get out of his boarding house. So him and his trusty sidekick slash roommate slash best friend. He's going to blindly help him out with that. What a bro.
Now in the sequence coming up here, you're going to receive a key from Maxwell here and go use it and find out that the key doesn't work. And then you go back and you get the bad key machine, which will break open anything that needs a key and you don't have a key for. What I don't understand in this sequence is why not just get the bad key machine to start with, open up the locker, you get the conveyance that's trying to be used there to unlock Ness and Paula's tomb, and it shortens the sequence.
I have an idea. I think Maxwell is just a stingy scientist slash hobo. I have my own opinion on that, but he just gives you his second best lockpick. He's like, oh, okay, it's not good enough. Here's the actual locker key.
Yeah, but he says right there, I knew it wasn't gonna work. Ha ha! I'm just a little bitter over it.
Same. So that was some solid menuing from Keku in that locker room. I personally seem to screw something up, like opening up my status menu awkwardly or trying to pick the locker with the broken spray can. I'm still waiting to use the ruler, saying I can, gauge the distance of everything.
Yeah, you gotta find out the dimensions. It's very important.
Well, I gotta know what I'm lockpicking, right?
That's right. You gotta know where the mechanisms are, how far in, how far away from the sides, and what tools to use.
Maybe I can even pry open the locker with the ruler. I mean, it's a decent shot.
Now, is it a wooden or metal ruler?
Well, I think Jeff is a nerd boy, so I'd assume he'd be a ruler connoisseur. He'd probably use one from some rare light metal. I don't know. Anyway, we have Bubble Monkey joining us, being an absent-minded, derpy ape. Even a simple despawn like this can be really awkward. Really good movement, though.
Bubble Monkey is everyone's favorite for the fact that Bubble Monkey just stops and looks around. Excuse me, can sometimes use that strategically to green swirl enemies, like a dog, and maybe get a bread roll and a level up. But you can't count on it.
Most of the times he just ruins any encounter skips in Brick Road. Yeah, so healing at that tent sets up this Tessie cutscene. We have a cute cutscene with some cute transition music as Landy's about to start his boarding house breakthrough. Boarding house breakout. Let's go with that.
All right, let's see some Tessie hype in the chat here. Some MS Paint Beast.
God bless that derpy dinosaur.
So beautiful, so majestic.
So there's going to be a monster despawn. Keku should move down left into the cliff and then move down right. There's a goat that will despawn itself by going through a tile on the lower right of the screen that apparently despawns any monster tiles. I think there are a couple other spots in the game that uses that exploit.
Absolutely. Well, now that we're into Brick Road, we're at the toughest boss here, the Worthless Protoplasm, weighing in at 11 offense, 21 defense, and a speed of 27, which is the most annoying part. You start off with a negative chance to run, and it's about turn 5 or 6 that you have maybe about a 20 to 30% chance to run. And unfortunately, Keku is taking a death here with the call for help just sealing his fate there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Proto 1 death is all too common.
Fortunately, you do spawn right outside and are able to jump right back in it, but you do have to fight again. If you do clear out the encounter, it is a scripted encounter and will not respawn.
Yeah, fortunately, that was a kind of quick death, so it was maybe another minute lost at the most.
Oh, this is getting close to dangerous again. On Andy's side, we see the green swirl from Bubble Monkey, and another death from Keku here. Ugh.
Yeah, the game does respect Bubble Monkey's sprite when starting encounters. One option that is a thing, when Protoplasm calls for help, you just switch to defense mode on Jeff. I don't agree with that red swirl game.
I don't either.
Just take half damage from any attacks and rack up the turn or the encounter length. With every turn, you have a 10% increased chance to run away, and that really helps when escaping the fight.
When attacking the protoplasm, you're really hoping Bubble Monkey will smash, because the smash ignores status. Oh, a third death. Oh, this is really unfortunate, giving Andy a big chance to catch up here. But smashes do ignore statuses, and if the protoplasm is confused, it will remain in that state, and it can work to your advantage.
Just to prove how common protoplasm death warps is, Classic James is an elite glitchless runner. He had a PB not that long ago that had 3 protoplasm deaths. Yeah, Keku had a chance to finish it off. There we go.
All right. Now on Andy's side, we see the MS Paint Beast has returned. Let's get some more Tessie hype going on there for the second and last occurrence in this race for Tessie.
So it looks like Keku has a decent duck skip setup.
Well done.
Basically moved the duck as far down and left as possible, and hoping that Bubble Monkey doesn't stray away during the walk. Unfortunately, that's exactly what he did during the second protoplasm. So these 3 encounters are supposed to be progressively easier or more consistent to skip. But fortunately, as they get the three encounters, they progress as being easier to kill. So at least there's that.
Fortunately, there was not another protoplasm death here, and so the butterfly assist provided for the duck skip will remain valid. We'll now proceed to Pond Cave, which will see the return of slugs and rowdy mice. You want to be doing a progressive despawn here, trying to remove enemies out of your path, or at least maybe just leaving a single slug behind, because Jeff can instant win versus a single slug thanks to the offense provided by his weapons. In the second half of the first room, the enemies are stutterable, and you can do some aggressive stuttering to try to work to your advantage.
Keku is entering Pond Cave with only 8 health, so...
Does Keku have any more remaining healing items? It might be.
He might get this hamburger at the end of this room, but he does not have the boiled egg. Meanwhile, Andy's trying to set up the duck skip. I wonder how much time he's going to invest in it. Maybe it'll be worthwhile, or if he'll decide to cut his losses. Good green swirl, using the monkey to his advantage.
Yeah, something to keep in mind when stuttering the enemies in this portion. They will go after Jeff.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you can run away. It's still a green swirl, but you want to focus on... they will focus on Jeff. So keep that in mind when Bubble Monkey falls behind.
I'm sorry, I interrupted what you said earlier.
I don't remember it now. Wasn't important enough.
All right. So Andy killed the duck. Fortunately, it had a lot of empty turns. It'll try to silence Jeff. It'll try to sap HP. It doesn't know that Jeff doesn't know how to do magic. I think the duck will also fall down, and I think he has one other empty turn. Lots of empty turns. You still want to have about 20 HP, so you can take 2 pecks of damage. There was a highlight recently, and I think it was Classic James as well who got this. But apparently the duck can smash.
I did not know that.
Smashes for 36. Oh yeah, it was pretty silly.
I guess if the Guts and Lux rolls right, yeah.
Yeah, the duck can Hulk up.
Unfortunately for Andy, getting into the Rowdy Mouse encounter, if it was just a slug, it'd be much more favorable, but the high offense of the smash attacks is not very friendly.
Yeah, the mice have high guts, but their smash attacks only do as much damage as the Black Antoid's normal attack back in Giant Step. Yeah, I believe Andy calls these Landy strats, just taking more encounters than you need to. He has a good sense of humor about it, though.
We now get to listen to one of my favorite parts of the run, the music for the Skyrunner sequence. I've said this previous times, and I'll say it again. I love the Skyrunner music, the ambience about it. I also like the Moonside music with the Star Spangled Banner twisted in the background there. It's just a fun little nod there.
Yeah, there are a couple music references out there. Southern Scaraba, Dungeon Man joining. It plays the Ringo's drum track to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely House Club Band. Little shout outs. I like the cutscene during the Skyrunner as well. And I've said this before in other commentaries as well, but you're just kind of flying over Forsyth in the desert, kind of foreshadowing what the run will look like. The places that you'll be controlling the kids through.
Yeah, it looks like we lost Andy's screen again here.
He was in the second room in Pond Cave. Or I think he actually used the rope up, so I think he's not that far behind still. I know he picked up the hamburger in the first room and healed up as I was done mentioning Landy strats. So I think that's just a part of the setup for that. If Andy manages to not take any encounters by the time Jeff rejoins the party, Jeff will be maxed out on health. Oh, there he is. Unfortunately, he's kind of shimmying up and down that rope, awkwardly despawning those mushrooms. Doing some inputs to shake up the RNG a bit. He's not intentionally manipulating, but he's trying to get a different monster spawn. That might be okay if he rushes left and if Monkey doesn't do that. Fortunately, the mushrooms have a low detection radius, so only the one on the bottom noticed Jeff.
Keku here is going to be getting ready for the final encounter with Boogie Tent. Typically, most runners will pick up the trash can teddy bear at the outside, which has a 75% chance to attract damage if any enemies were going to... Ooh, green scroll for Andy there.
Was so lucky.
Yeah.
K-Boy Death, which... Unless you waste the BBR on it. Yeah, K-Boy Death is like 4 minutes. I should know because I had a PB with the K-Boy Death.
I'm very familiar with K-Boy Death as well. I mean, at this point, K-Boy only has about 5 speed, so there is a chance to outspeed it, but you gotta have enough turns or roll lucky.
I thought K-Boy had a ridiculous high speed, actually, but you're the one with the guide.
Second Cave Boy does. It has like 75 speed. It's like the 4th fastest enemy out there.
I got it confused. Anyway, this run is not completely over yet. Unfortunately, there's a 1 in 36 chance that Boogie Tent wipes Jeff turn 1. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
If it does, I'll blame you for commentator's curse on that.
Yo, I'm a big fan of that first turn. Defend BBR ensures that Jeff's damage goes out. The main DPS of this fight. Yeah, you saw that 430 damage. Boogie Tent has 570 HP, so that's a good chunk.
One more rocking here, and it will take it out as long as it lands for a decent amount here. The teddy bear coming in handy there.
Yeah, the bottle rocket unfortunately missed, so it's going to be one more rocking.
Yeah, that was a pretty low roll, too.
Rip teddy bear.
All right, and with that, Keku is going to take the match.
Yep, he just has like a minute of level ups. It could kind of go a little faster if Boogie Tent kills one of the kids. The experience splits into 2 players rather than 3, but it's less levels overall. Still, having one kid die in the middle of that fight is always scary.
Now, we can only hope for Andy that Andy has pretty much just as clean or cleaner boogie fight here. And it looks like Keku is going to finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 23 seconds.
Yeah, that is a super solid time. Yeah, GG Keku. Yeah, I do not know where he ranks on the leaderboards. I know he is an active member of the Earthbound community. And it definitely shows that he has his game knowledge. Yeah, well played. I just saw that timers changed from green to red. Yeah, I do not know where he ranks on the leaderboards. I know he is an active member of the Earthbound community. And it definitely shows that he has his game knowledge.
All right, we'll see Andy probably pick up the teddy bear here and move on to getting ready for the Boogie Tent. Maybe he'll pick up a bottle rocket from the arms dealer here. If not, go straight for Boogie Tent and see what happens here.
Yeah, skip sandwich strats. Pick that up back at the headquarters. Yeah, the scary thing about using a skip sandwich there is that it makes the kid Congo line longer, and it's a bigger target for the monsters to hit, even though you're going faster.
All right, Andy's going to go for the fully offensive route here with a rock and a freeze and the big bottle rocket. And Boogie Tent uses the defense spray, so that's a nice free turn there.
It's kind of that BBR roll is on the lower end, though.
So it'll all depend on the next bottle rocket and rocking here.
Yep, hopefully both boys will hit. That should be a kill. And of course, both normal rockets missing.
Unfortunately, I seem to find that happening more often than not with a single bottle rocket. So the next rocking should take care of Boogie Tent, hopefully.
And it looks like Andy's going to pick up the Fly Honey at like a low 119. And I saw his PB switch from green to red at picking up the teddy bear. So not PB for him either, but that's still a respectable time.
Andy is going to finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 9 seconds. A sub 120. That is a very solid, respectable time.
Yeah, it seems to be the post Boogie Percent tradition, victory lap, trying to set up a text glitch underneath that pillar in the tent.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps up this race here. Go ahead and give both runners here a follow. They put on an excellent run here, and they both deserve follows for what they put on. They're both good members and good dedicated runners.
Yeah, both players were definitely competitive. Always makes it an entertaining watch.
I'd like to shout out the tournament organizers for everything they've done, and Feasel and Speed Gaming for hosting us here. Thank you so much for letting us do this here, and well, thank you for joining me here on commentary.
Yeah, it's been fun. I don't think we had this co-commentary before. Really
Not
exciting.
Yet, but now we've got one.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Toucan Sham, who made this this background, this display for the Super Series. Really excellent graphic design going on.
And that will wrap it up for here on Speed Gaming 2. Currently, there is another Earthbound race going on Speed Gaming 1 between Skateman 222 and F. Coughlin. There will also be another race in about an hour and a half on Speed Gaming 1, probably about a hour after the finishing up of the race there. And I'm not quite sure who is on that race. But it looks like
I don't have my spreadsheet up.
Oh, here it is. It's BR Stallings and Salty Fry.
Oh yeah, that'll be an entertaining one for sure. Yeah, I'm probably going to watch that unless they absolutely need commentary.
Well, I think that wraps it up for this time around. I'll see you guys next time.
Yep, thanks for having us. Glad that you guys were able to hop in.